Well, let's put my money where my mouth is.
Wait. Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. It's your first time here? Big fella, scruffy trader. What I'm trying to do is put money into the markets. And while I'm putting money in the markets, I'm trying to get it out and maybe show you a trick or two along the way. That's essentially what this channel is all about. So let me just flick over onto the screens. And what I'm looking at is the Aussie dollar. Now I'm going to switch on my Discord just a second to show you why. Just bear with me a tick. Get this on because we're about to go into market as well. I've just told the guys exactly what I'm about to do here. All right. And the reasons why I'm looking at it. Okay. So they see it there and they also get a heads up well in advance with this bias sheet. Now, I'm big on journaling. I journal everything, and I have this little sheet that's a bit mad. So what I'm looking at is the Aussie's strong, and the dollar is very weak. But I'm looking to sell it. And there's good reason why. It's bouncing off key levels, and it may well be overvalued. Okay? And when that's happening, kind of start to wonder why. Now, yesterday, the dollar was down here. So it's actually moving up. So it's catching the Aussie, telling me there could be a tip of balance. That's the theory. And the markets that we're looking at, I have dropped a little trade onto the DAX this morning because it was fair. Gold, I'm not really worried about because it's spot gold and it's too slow for a Friday. So it kind of left me with that, okay? And that's the state of play, what's happening now. And if you like this community and you want to be part of it, it is a great community. They all chat each morning, just in general chat, get themselves into the mindset where they genuinely look at what's going on. And pat each other on the back, rags and riches, that sort of thing. But it's a good community. And then if you're up in the rogues, we have morning calls where we go right through it. And the morning call that we did this morning is kind of the catalyst of this trade that we're looking at right now. Now, at the moment, there's my German trade running. It's net positive, but I'm quite happy with that. Close that down shortly. And then we're following on from what you saw me do yesterday. Okay. So what am I doing? What am I looking at? Well, I'm looking at going from zone to zone. I'm going to clean this all off and build up an hourly chart and then take that down into a normal chart.
No way.
We're going to take a fib from that start ignition up to there. So we can see we're in a nice place. It's not breaching the top, it's ranging and it's pushing down. So we're going to drop in a couple of fibs, or a couple of levels rather, just so that we can see what it is we're looking at. Okay. Just drop these in, and I'm just going to take it down to the 50 because that's all I'm pretty much interested in. Cool. All right. So that's the hourly looking pretty good. Okay. Now, I've already established that there's some key levels here from higher ground. But we can see that it's in a range here. You can see it. All right. So let's take it to a 15-minute. Now what can we see? Well, you can see it's had an acceleration here. That key level is held. Top, top. And it's collapsed, and it's collapsed underneath this. Okay. So if I took a fib from that, just there, where's it collapsed to? Well, it's collapsed onto this 127, giving me a trigger point to, lo and behold, come to here. So what I've done is I've essentially just mapped out the chart in such a way that it's given me clean entry exits. And it's that simple. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if the market is ready. At the moment, it was still telling me to wait. So I'm just going to have a little look here and see whether I should still be waiting or whether we have an opportunity here. Well, at this moment in time, it's still pushing down heavily on the hour. And the 5 minute, if we drop it up to a 5, because we'll work on a 5 minute, it's having a little bit of a retracement. See that here, pushing up. So where might be some good points to enter? Let's map out this 15 a little bit cleaner. Well, if it's retracing up on itself, the last drop is this one here. Now, I know I want to go short. Put a fib on there for now. Right, okay. That now gives me that point, and that point. So what are all of these little points? There we go. I'm going to turn that one to be solid. We'll call it, we'll make it green. Right. So what we're looking at, use me just a second. Sorry. What we're looking at is we have a point here where I want it to move from there to there. So I can put orders here, or I can wait for the price to push up here and then put the order underneath it, push here. So at this moment in time, this is the order entry point that I'm interested in. And I want it to go there. All right. Okay. So how do I monitor it? Take it down onto 5 minutes. There's a nice map chart. Happy days. I can see it. If I'm doing candle counting to make certain that the low's the right place. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the lowest candle. There's your logical point. To me, this is simple. What I've done is I've mapped the chart all the way down into a criteria that I can understand with a single direction. Now, the direction came from higher time frames. You look at your dailies, look at your 4 hours, get an understanding of what the big picture is trying to achieve. And then once you've made a decision, then you come down into the low time frames and you just follow what you've already decided. Now, I've decided I want to go short. So do I just jump in the market? Of course I don't. I have to wait for the conditions to be right. And that can be, as we are looking on this chart right now, it's pushed up onto that level. So my green line can now naturally start following up behind these candles to come down with an overall view of getting to here. Now, the basis of this trade, I just pull onto my sheet so I can show you. Says it's fair. It says it's a fair trade. Okay. So what that's telling me is, all right, it's a good trade, but don't go mad with my targets. Okay. So all I'll do is I'll go, right, okay, well, that is there, it's pushing up. So this has now become a good area. Whatever gets here, well, that'll become a good area. So that's a good entry point. Okay. But I like it to break candles, so my order will be down here somewhere. And then I'll follow this up, and I'll follow this up. So that's what I'm going to do. It's looking pretty darn good now. So we'll drop a an order in underneath that green candle. So we've already got a nice point to work to. There. And if I drop that onto there, that's like 11 pips. So I'm still targeting this point. And if I get 50 quid, happy days. Because as you can see, in the last 2 days, I've done my week's wages. I only look for 200 quid a day, 3 days a week. So that's virtually a week's wages. Okay, I had to do a bit of killing on the footsie because I got it a bit wrong. I got in early and I just needed to kill it out a little bit. So that's what I did. So let's see how this pans out. And I'll come back to you at the end. Well, boys and girls, job done. All before Winky has put her clothes on. And yes, she did take them off and I had to hide the camera because she's stupid and she didn't realise I was recording and decided to go, woo!
How does your missus put up with you? Must be my legendary prowess as a lover.
No, I didn't.
What have you got to say for yourself?
You just make it up as you go along.
Oh, I don't. I was all excited. I was really excited. Right, I'm going to end this video now and make a different type of video.
Oh, that's disgusting.
No, I'm not. But there's a horror story for the weekend. Right, okay, sorry. Right, I don't need that second order, which I should have put in when the first one triggered. But I didn't, because somebody distracted me, as she always does. But these entry-exit points are exactly what they're for. And as you can see, the price is stalling a little bit. But while we were talking, I've got no trades left. All of them are out. And the German trade came in. Boom, 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 boom. That 55 onto there. And suddenly, boom. Done my day's wages. Because as we started just under 600, we end in 806. So in the course of the last 20 minutes, I have completed my salary for the day. I'd already done it for the week. I'd already had my cheap thrill because Winky been flashing at me. You're really naughty, you. You know, for somebody who's quiet, she's a proper like one of these sort of. Do you know when you see like the choir girls where they're supposed to be all sort of quiet and thing, and then as soon as you put a drink in them, they go mental. Well, that's what she is. She's like that as well. You are. You put a drink in her and all Marielle breaks loose at times. I can tell you some stories. In fact, the guys might even tell you some stories down in the comments that I've told them when we've had scruffy meets of some of the stupid exploits that we get up to. And they are stupid. All I'll say is dress above head standing in the middle of a river. That'll get you thinking as well. Yes, Finny, Danny, you all know what that story is, and it is true, and we do have photographic evidence. And yes, at the end of that sort of trip, I was raped by a monkey.
Matron, take them away.
Don't go on holiday.
No monkey.
Well, we'll have some monkey business. Anyway. Hey. Anyway, boys and girls. I did that trade simply to back up something that I told the guys. Because that's something I truly believe in. Nothing on this channel is ever scripted. It never is. It's just me, the screens, and an invasion from Winky, sort of upsetting the apple cart. But she upsets it in such a good way, I'll let her come back. Are you going to upset the apple cart? What you do?
It's Black Friday.
For fuck's sake. Sorry. Just give us what's in your hand. Just give it here.
No, I need it.
Ah, you might need it. Just give it here.
It's a bit hot.
No, just give it here. I want to show something. Right. I'll take that bit off. Right. Look whose name's on it. It's mine. And what's on here? What is
You
on it?
look really good in a Pandora charm.
Pandora. Little tiddly thing the size of that. 50 quid. Tiny. How many have you got? Fuck's.
The girls like them as well.
I'll give it flying
It's
feck.
Christmas. Stop being miserable.
Bar bloody humbug. Jesus Christ. We went shopping the other week. Bankrupted me. We were in London this weekend where I was working. Believe it or not, I was working. I went there for a meeting. Bankrupted me. And it obviously wasn't enough because she's having another go now. Yeah. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Oh, I'm very proud.
Is that how much that cost? That's how big they are. These little things. 50 quid each.
Yeah, I look in the back.
Fuck's sake.
Got £10 off, so they're only 40.
£10 off and they're only 40. Sorry, nearly really got on one there. Okay, boys and girls, I'm now going to go cry into a cup of coffee, because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee, but he might trade that in for a Bailey's, a whiskey and a beer, because apparently I need it. Well, are we going out for lunch?
You can if you want.
Are you paying?
Yeah, yeah.
Not with my card?
No, I'll say.
All right, I'll be mailing. Right, okay. I'm going out for lunch. See you later, boys and girls. As always, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.